I said it's interesting to see when a kid walks in the room, your child or anybody else's child, does your face light up? Or, and that's what they're looking for. When my children used to walk in the room when they were little, I looked at them to see if they had buckled their trousers, or if their hair was combed, or if their socks were up. And so you think your affection and your deep love is on display because you're caring for them. It's not. When they see you, they see the critical face. What's wrong now? But then if you let your, as I tried from then on, to let your face speak what's in your heart, because when they walked in the room, I was glad to see them. It's just as small as that, you see.
That is what I think is so profound, because that is how you learn what your value is.
That's right.
Not by what the person is saying to you, but what you feel.
A good morning and grand rising to you and also you. Welcome. I am Starz Tina, and this is the Starz Tina Show. When you come into this space, you're going to get the motivation, the inspiration, and the transformation when it comes to your life. Alrighty. Today is Wednesday, and it's all about that traumedy. No more for kids. I am Starz Tina, your host. I'm a coach. I'm a speaker, and I am also an author. And I decided to make Wednesdays the day where we talk about the children. My latest book, Traumedy No More for Kids, really taps into what children are actually feeling. Traumedy. Traumedy is when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide. When this happens, life-changing experiences occur. It happens to everyone, but the children tend to get neglected. So I came out with this book, and in this book, it's beautiful, guys. It's absolutely amazing. And you can just click the bottom if you want to order one, or just go on Amazon. In this book, it teaches children how to tap into those uncomfortable feelings like anxiety, stress, and depression. Once we teach them how to really understand, well, what am I feeling? Then we want to teach them how to express those feelings. Once they're expressed, then we teach them how to push through the pain of sadness. You know, maybe they don't like the way their hair looks. Maybe they didn't get that bicycle for Christmas. And then we teach them things like maybe it's journaling, yoga, meditation, drawing, coloring, dancing, whatever. So on Wednesdays, I am so lucky and grateful that I get to have a side host. Her name is Allison. Come on up here, Allison. And we're going to be talking all about the children today, like we always do on Wednesdays. If this is your first time, I do want to welcome you. I want you to go and click that subscribe button there. If you're watching us on YouTube, hey. If you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, welcome, welcome, and welcome again. Good morning, Allison.
Good morning.
Congrats on that podcast again, family and friends. She launched her podcast, her first one last week, and I'm so stinking proud of her, because so many people say they're going to do things in life. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then it just kind of whimpers along, but she did it. Allison, tell us who you are, where you're from, and all about your podcast and everything.
All right, my name is Allison Urban. I am a licensed clinical social worker and a registered play therapist in Bloomfield, New Jersey. My podcast is called The Playful Approach, and I basically spend a little bit of time every week, every episode, talking about different aspects of play therapy. Like I have episodes on how parents can be involved, how play therapy helps parents, a whole bunch of different things like that. So if you are interested, it is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and probably everywhere else.
I love that, and I'm so excited. So, Allison, I had the pleasure of hosting, emceeing, running a children's birthday party this past weekend. I just came from New Jersey. My goddaughter absolutely loved Michael Jackson. When I say, like, she's been to 2 Michael Jackson shows already. So she had a Michael Jackson themed birthday party. Now, Allison, originally it was supposed to be just 12 kids. That's it.
Oh no.
It was about 20 something kids there. They just kept coming and coming. And I was just like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Now, thank goodness I was skilled in this. You know, I used to dance at bar mitzvahs years ago. So when it comes to getting the party started and going, it was absolutely amazing. But what I saw, Allison, so many different personalities and dynamics in the children, right? Like you had that leader, you had that person that wanted to stay in the corner, the person that wanted to stay in the phone, the person that didn't want to play, but they wanted to play. And we played musical chairs, and it was wild for me because the last time I saw my daughter's 32 now, so it's been like 20 something 20 something years I've been hanging out with kids, right? So I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to hang out with them because I got to see, she turned 5. So they were all about
Oh
5
my
or
goodness.
6 years old. Today's topic, tell us what today's topic is that we're going to be talking about.
Today's topic is healing through play. So I have a little bit of experience in this
A
one.
little song,
Just
healing
a
through
little.
play. I love it. So, what are some things now? If you're watching this, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat so we can directly answer your questions. I'm going to ask you a question as if I'm in the chat, and this is for what I've seen. If you have a child and they're glued to their device all the time. Well, when you were a kid, because you're pretty young, did you have cell phones and devices that you were glued to as well?
No. Oh gosh. I'm not that young. My first phone I got in 5th grade was a flip phone. It was one of those like cheap phones that you got for free when you like signed up with Verizon. One of those like you had to hit the button 7 times to get the thing, and if you hit the internet on accident, you had to be like, oh no, back up, it's gonna charge me
I love it. I
so
love it. I love it. Yeah, we never even had, we had beepers. I don't know if you've ever even heard
much
of a beeper.
money. Yes.
Beepers, and then, but anyway, I see the kids and they're all in, and then their little fingers are swiping. I'm like, oh my gosh. What are your personal thoughts? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is a bad thing? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I have mixed feelings on if it's a good or a bad thing. I think that COVID didn't help with everybody being home and kids having to do school completely remote. I think that there's benefits and downsides to it. Like in general, using the screens, I think that kids can learn some things through it, but I also think it can hinder socialization, but I find it can also support socialization. So kids maybe that struggle a little bit with the like face to face talking to people benefit sometimes from making friends online, playing Roblox or playing like I don't know what they play these days, but playing whatever it is that they play online. Like it's a way to connect that maybe if you're shy and doing the whole face to face thing, a voice to a voice is a little different. A voice to a voice, you could build that connection. So I think it has its benefits, it has its downsides, but we got to find a balance.
I love it. And you answered that so great because I think of it like with eating. People say, well, eating bad. Well, there's no such thing as bad thing, right? It might be a bad
Right.
behavior. So I love the way that you answer that and, maybe some parts of it. So let's get into the topic. Healing through play, some pains that children can have. I'm going to go for it. When they're 5, do they really have pains in healing? Things that they're sad about when they're 5 years old? What you got?
I think they can always have things they're sad about. I think it depends. And I think a lot of with younger kids, what I see is it's not necessarily maybe that they have things to be sad, it's they have these feelings and they don't know how to express them. And I think that that's why I love being a play therapist because play is their language. And it is a safe way for them to learn about those emotions and express them that maybe they don't know how to fully express yet. And I think that's where kids get stuck is like those big feelings come out in big ways because they're not really sure what they're feeling and they're not really sure how to ask for what they need.
Would you say that's scary for a child? Because you just said they don't really know what they're feeling. And I'm thinking, like, is that anxious when you don't really know what you're feeling? Is that anxiety?
It can be. I think it can also lead to that like temper tantrum, like parents call it, that like big blow up because they don't know what they're feeling really and they don't know how to verbalize it. And then the problem with that, why it cycles is right, like a kid has a big reaction, a parent is like, no, don't do that. Or like a parent gets dysregulated. The parent is like, no, don't do that. The child never learns how to regulate their emotion and we kind of get stuck in like a
Okay.
cycle.
Okay. So let's talk about that today. And maybe we can use your 3 points. Because I was reading somewhere where it said people don't know how to express themselves. And, even with children, like you will say, stop crying, stop being mad, but you should let them express what they're feeling so
Yeah.
they understand those feelings. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah, it's about letting them feel that feeling. And instead of, if they're doing something that we don't want them to do, like a behavior, like punching someone because they're mad, right? We're going to redirect and be like, okay, the feeling you're feeling, that's okay. Punching people, not okay. Let's show you two other things that you can do when you're angry that are okay. And let's focus our energy into doing that. Because I think that with that cycle, right? Kids get stuck in, I'm not supposed to feel this feeling, I'm not supposed to do this thing, but then they feel the feeling and they're like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. I do what I know and then I get in trouble.
Exactly, exactly. So is there a cure? Is there a solution to this tantrum tantrum parent getting upset, tantrum tantrum, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes. I mean, I think that that's where, right, play therapy can be helpful, is because they're exploring those feelings. They are helping your child and you to navigate, right? What are things that we're okay with? What are things we're not okay with? How do we redirect those behaviors without yelling at them and making them think the feeling is bad? Because, like it or not, angry, sad, mad, that's the same thing as angry, but all those feelings are important. All of those feelings we need to let the child feel, even ones as parents that are uncomfortable to let them feel, like fear, anxiety, that anger, that sadness. You got to let them feel them because they need them. We need all those feelings.
Okay, here's a question for you. So as a parent, I was gonna say, I don't know about you, but you're not a parent. Do you have any pets?
I have a cat. He's here
Okay,
somewhere.
so you'll be a pet. So that'll be your pet. That'll be your child. But it's very hard to see your child hurting, to see your child in pain. Whether it's they scratched their knee or their boyfriend broke up with them. So how do you? I mean, you don't have any kids. You got a cat, but you're there. What are some thoughts on how a parent can, help their child heal through something like that, a pain
I
that they're feeling?
I think that it can be kind of similar in the way that a therapist works, is remembering that your child is the expert in their own life. And I think when we went to that school in Jersey City, I had mentioned that to the teachers, is reminding children that they are the expert in their own lives. Yes, maybe I went through a breakup too, but I'm not going to tell you how you're supposed to feel because I don't know. I wasn't in your relationship. A friendship ended, and I maybe have had that happen, but I'm not going to tell you how to feel because mine was probably different than yours. They're not the same. We have similar things, but I don't know what that was like for you. So being able to step back and say, like, well, what was that like for you? Right? How was that for you? How did that make you feel? What do you need from me? Do you need me to sit here and give you advice? Do you want me to just sit here and listen? Do you want me to give you space until you're ready to talk about it? Being able to remind ourselves that I think it can be hard, especially when we're talking about kids, to be like, they're the expert, but they are the expert in their own lives. And once we give them that ability, that builds trust with them.
What about that child that doesn't talk? They don't want to talk. Like you're trying to talk to them, like you said, how are you feeling? And they say nothing. Any advice on that? Or they'll
Play with
say, leave
them.
me alone.
I'll leave them alone and I'll watch what they do. I think the beauty of working with kids and being around kids is that they talk through their play sometimes. That where words might fail, that's where play comes in. And being able to say, like, we don't have to talk. I might not ask you how you
I love it.
feel.
I
You
love
might
it.
tell
I
me
love
through
it.
your play.
I love it. Let's jump right into it. So for those of you that are watching, today we're talking about healing through play. And this is for children. So if you have a grandchild, a granddaughter, and they're angry, they're mad, they're saying, get out, she's going to teach you, and she's going to give us 3 tips on how to heal through play. Instead of trying to talk to them, we're playing. Let's play right now. Go.
All right, so the first one, and I think I kind of touched on a little bit of all of them, but the first one is that play matters in healing. And it's just coming back to, right, play is their natural language. And I talk about this in my podcast. Kids and adults, all of us as people, play comes naturally to us. So when we don't have the words yet, we all know how to play. You know how to play. I know how to play. Everybody watching knows how to play. Like we just do. It's our natural, innate ability. Um, so that's really important for kids in that development of they're learning their language. They're learning what words are and what words mean. And when we're able to give them that through play, that's where the growth happens. That's where they're able to really learn. And that's why it's important to build trust with them, to let them be the experts, to explore their feelings, because that's where kids will grow. So that's the first one.
Love
I think
it.
the next one is that being able to acknowledge when kids might need more support. So it can be if they're maybe having temper tantrums, if they are avoidant of school. And I think this one is so broad that it's really hard to know specifically. I think it's just knowing your child and knowing, like, are they doing things that you feel like they could benefit from more help? Because I also do sit down with parents in the therapy process and we go over things like that. I have a book that I use that goes from maybe like 3 years old to like 12, 13, and it talks about what are normal development things at this age, what are normal challenges at this age, when should you be seeking help. And I think that sometimes even just that for parents to know, like, yeah, that's pretty normal, yep, that's the normal thing that they go through, is so relieving for them, because they'll be like, they're lying, is that okay? And I'll like pull up the page and I'll be like, let's see, and I'll go through it and I'll be like, yep, that sounds pretty normal. So do I think that there are some obvious signs that kids need more support? Yeah, I think there are also hidden signs that kids need more support. It's just paying attention to your child and sometimes even watching them play. What are they doing? Because kids can heal themselves through play to some level. They can work through their problems.
So for that one, right? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so for this second one right here, you have that parent. And what are some, is it just playing games with them, talking to them, reading to them? Can you give us some examples to help some people out?
It could be anything. I think it's letting them lead the play to some level, because kids will play out things that they're going through. Like, I've had kids play out the puppets at school, and one puppet is bullying the other, and the puppet that's a bully gets in trouble. Or one of the puppets is really nervous because they just want people to like them. And the funny thing about kids is, like, when you're not like, hey, what do you do when you feel nervous? If I'm like, hey, what would this puppet do if they were nervous that people at school wouldn't like them? They're able to come up with solutions, and I'm like, oh, look at that.
So another thing I'm thinking right now, would you say that getting to their level is important? Because whenever I talk to kids, I
Yeah,
get to their level. And
yeah,
I think that some parents or adults may stay standing up. Do you think that's important, to get to their level to make them feel
yeah,
comfortable?
yeah. It is. That's one of the things that we learn in play therapy trainings, is getting to their level. I'm on the floor with them if we're playing on the floor. If we're running around the room being dogs, I'm running around the room being a dog with you. Like, whatever it is that we're doing, I'm doing it with you. I'm on your level, and I think that that's important too, because it shows I'm coming to your level. I'm trusting you. You lead, instead of I'm an adult, I'm looking down at you. I'm looking face to face with you.
And I'm just throwing this out there because, again, most of my coaching is what I do for adults, but then bring it down for kids. And I'm thinking some other things that parents can do is eye contact,
Yeah,
right? Really looking at the child in the eye, maybe touching them, on the shoulders, and then breathing, pausing, so they know that you're connecting with them. I think we're just moving so quickly in the world, and it's just like, come on, because that was me back in the day, girl. My kids, let's go. That was me all the time. I'm surprised my children made it through life, because I was always screaming and yelling. But now it's like, all right, come on. It's
yeah.
that gentle, that. So is that important? The eye contact, the slow talking to them, really having that intimate conversation with them. How important is that to help heal the child?
Yeah, no, it is important. And I think that that's one of the ways that parents can create that healing environment at home, is being able to come down to their level, being able to offer them that co-regulation, being able, because that is a technique that I do use with kids, is I'll be like, hey, let's breathe together. So encouraging parents, like, do that at home, breathe with them, co-regulate with them, get to their level, giving them a space to just play and not judging their play at home, letting them just go through things. Because I think that sometimes parents will be like, well, that might be alarming. Should I be concerned? Kids sometimes have to play through their struggles. If they have trauma, they have to play through that in their own way. And we don't dictate it, we don't guide it, and giving them that ability to be like, I'm here with you. Whatever you need, I'm here with you. I'm playing with you, I'm present with you. That's what's important. And that's what kids will take away is, right, are we with them? Are we hearing them? Are we seeing them? Are we just in the moment with them? Because that's what they need. And that's something that parents can easily incorporate at home.
And as you're saying that, Allison, I'm thinking, you know what? Some parents may need that break themselves, that break to
Yeah.
breathe. Just like, okay, pause.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. Go on into tip number 3.
So that one I talked a little bit about, but how do they create that healing environment at home? And that's right what I do with parents and parent sessions is working with them to be like, you got to be present with them. Here's how you can be present with them. That co-regulation, you can do that with them. Helping them to navigate those emotions is just, again, remembering your child is the expert in their own lives and in their own feelings. You got to trust them and go with them and be with them. And if they're doing things that are not appropriate for feelings, maybe reach out to a play therapist because it's okay to need a little bit more support. I know that parents sometimes will come in and be like, Allie, I feel like I failed. You didn't fail. Kids don't come with an instruction manual, unfortunately. It's okay to need that support and it's okay to use that support. So I went to school and got all the trainings that I did because it's what I do and it's okay to need that support. Don't be afraid of it.
I love it. If you're just tapping in, we're coming to an end. Allison's gonna wrap everything up. But if you're coming through, this is Traumedy No More for Kids segment. We're here every Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. I am Stars Tina, and today we're talking about healing through play for children. Allie, I heard you say your parents say Allie, so I'm gonna start calling you Allie, Allie Cat. Share with us our 3 statements for today.
It's remembering that play is healing and why play matters in that healing. It's remembering that we're paying attention for signs that our kids might need more support. And then it's lastly creating that healing environment at home because as much as work happens in the therapy room, if home isn't changing too, I can only do so much. And a play therapist or therapist in general can only do so much. So fostering all of these things to help kids heal.
Love it. I love today's segment. Tell everyone how they can find you, contact you if they want to work with you or have questions, and your podcast info.
Hi. So I am on social media as the Playful Approach. I'm on the TikTok. I'm on
She
Instagram.
said the TikTok.
That's my podcast name. So if you want to find me there, you can find me there. I do try to post content as best I can about different things with kids. And then I work at a savvy out of network practice called Cultivate Therapy in Bloomfield, New Jersey. And you can find us at cultivatetherapyteam.com. I think that was everything, right? And then my
I love
podcast,
it.
which is The
Yes, yes,
Playful
yes,
Approach.
yes. I love it. And if you didn't know, I am Stars Tina. I am the founder of Elite Stars, which is a holistic wellness center. It's virtual and we have online fitness classes. I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I'm also an author, and just do all the things, right? Nowadays, it's all about healing the children and healing yourself. And if there's anyone out there who has a child who has a story, you notice the bottom, it says share your story. This year, I'm coming out with an anthology. An anthology is one book that has various stories in it. And I would love to have some children's stories in it as well of a trauma or tragedy that they went through and how they actually got through it from the voice of a child, right? I think that would be absolutely amazing. I just got that idea right now, Allison, because this one woman I know, she's actually working on her own book of an incident that happened where her mother passed away. And she was saying how in her eyes, how it played out. And then from her daughter's eyes, how it played out, because you have one situation and everyone feels things differently. So if you have a story, text the number at the bottom. I can't see it because I don't have my glasses on, but that's okay. Text the number, share your story if you want a consultation to join the crew. With that being said, we will see you next week, Wednesday at 7:30. Peace and a bottle of hair grease. Bye. See ya. See ya. See ya.